discuss the length of the vector. So what is the energy of the signal? Then what is the relation between the length of the vector and signal energy? So today we have to discuss the how can we represent the signals or symbols by using the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure. Okay, so whenever we have to discuss the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization procedure, so first we have to define the orthonormal basis function. Means it is a carrier signal. So that carrier signal is denoted by pi 1 of t, pi 2 of t, up to the pi n of t with a bit duration of t seconds. Okay, so once you define the orthonormal basis function, after that, so by using the parameter or coefficient I and j, you have to define. So when it is a integration of 0 to t, pi I of t, pi j of t equal to 1. So when it is a 0. So if you consider, whatever we have to consider the coefficients I and j. If I equal to j, at that time we can get the pi square of t. It nothing but integration of 0 to t, pi square of t equal to value is 1. Okay. If the I is not equal to 0, at that time what happens? So these two coefficients should be different. So whatever integral form is there, so that integral form we can get the 0. Okay. So once you define the orthonormal basis function, then we have to define the signal vector. So signal vector nothing but it is the combination of the message signal and carrier signal, or it is the multiplication of the message signal and carrier signal. So first we have to define the S1 of t. So S1 of t is nothing but S11 is the symbol or signal. So this signal should be multiplied with the carrier signal pi 1 of t. With respect to, we have to define the n number. So similarly, S1 of t equal to S11 pi 1 of t plus S12 pi 2 of t up to the S1 n pi n of t. So write it equation number 1a. Similarly, we have to define so up to the m variable. So m variable. So first define the S1 of t. After that S2 of t. Then after that we have to define the Sm of t. So when you, after defining this equation, we have to write it 1a, 1b and 1c. So first we have to define the orthonormal basis function. Then after defining the orthonormal basis function, then we have to define the signal vector. Okay. So once you define the signal vector, so by using equation 1, so means Si of t. So Si of t. So or if you consider this equation 1a. So by considering this equation, we have to rewrite or we have to write it in the summation form. So how it is writing? So if you consider the 1a, so here is the S1 of t. So instead of writing the S1 of t, we have to define this one is variable I. So it means Si of t. Okay. After that, so what I have given? So in equation number 1, it is a extended form. So means extended. So this can be, we have to compact or we have to represent it in summation form. So that summation is, so in terms of n variable n. So then, so whatever this orthonormal basis function pi 1 and pi 2 is there, no? So this one is the j term. So means j equal to 1. Okay. After that S11. So S11 I represent the 1, then j represent the 1. So means Sij. After that, so then we have to go for the basis function. So basis function means it is a orthonormal basis function. So this orthonormal basis function can be defined as pi j of t. So these value it is in the interval of 0 to t at that time. So whatever we have to define the coefficient, so that coefficient I equal to 1, 2, up to the n. Okay. So this one is the reduced form for the 1a equation. So after Si of t we can get, then we have to define the coefficients. So how can we define the coefficients? So means, so this form Sij. So Sij equal to, so whenever we have to define the coefficient form, so we have to represent it in terms of integration, or it is an interval of 0 to t. Okay. So Sij equal to, first this, whenever we have to define the coefficients, at that time it is the product of the symbol and basis function. So first one is the symbol or it is a signal. So second bit is it is the orthonormal basis function. So this orthonormal basis function means 0 to t integration. So symbol can be represented by Si of t. Then j terms, it indicates orthonormal basis function pi j of t. So where, so this I equal to 1, 2 up to the n, then j equal to 1, 2 up to the n. So write it equation number 2. Okay. So after defining the coefficients, we have to consider the step number 1. So means we have to define the orthonormal basis function or Gram-Schmidt orthonormalization procedure, first we have to go to the step number 1. So what happens whenever in the step number 1? So we have to consider the 1a equation. So it means this equation. So this equation we have to represent it. So means whenever this coefficient value Sij equal to 0, if nothing but these terms should be get 0. So 0. So means we can get the S1 of t equal to S11 pi 1 of t. So by using this equation we have to define the pi 1 of t. So pi 1 of t equal to S1 of t divided by S11. Yes, S11. So once you define the coefficients, after that, so these coefficients can be squared and integrate the both sides. So means integration means 0 to t. So S1 square of t into dt. So integration of 0 to 1 S11 square pi 1 square of dt. So we know that. So whenever I equal to z, at that time we can get. So means pi square of t. So it's nothing but. So S11 equal to some bracket 0 to t S1 of t dt 1 by 2. So write equation number 1. So means we have to find out the S11 value. So that S11 value equal to, so integration of 0 to t S1 of t dt raised to 1 by 2. So means in the step number 1 we have to define the S11 coefficients. Once we define the S11 coefficients, then we have to consider the equation number, so 1b. So means this equation S2 of t. So once you define the S2 of t, so see, consider the equation number 1b with the coefficient Sij equal to 0. So what is the equation is there? S2 of t equal to S21 pi 1 of t plus S22 pi 2 of t. Okay, so whenever that coefficient equal to 0, so this term should be again 0. So once the equation is 0, we can get the equation S2 of t equal to S21 pi 1 of t plus S22 pi 2 of t. So here what happens? So we have to multiply the both side pi 1 of t, then integration in terms of 0 to t. So here integration is 0 to t S2 of t. So what I told, we have to multiply the pi 1 of t equal to integration of S21 pi 1 of t and pi 1 of t plus integration of 0 to t S2 of S22 pi 2 of t and pi 1 of t. So as we know that whenever, so I and j coefficient should be different, at that time we can get the 0. Automatically this term should be 0. Yes. So what is the remaining equation? S21. So S21 equal to 0 to t S2 of t into pi 1 of t. So here we have to rewrite the equation number 5. So what is the equation is there? S2 of t equal to S21 pi 1 of t plus S22 pi 2 of t. So by using this equation we have to define the S22 into pi 2 of t. So S22 into pi 2 of t equal to S22 minus S21 pi 1 of t. So here what happens? So we have to square these two terms and integration. So means 0 to t. So S2 of t minus S21 of t pi 1 of t and pi 2 of t square. So equal to, so 0 to t S22 square. So then pi 2 of square into dt. So by using this equation we have to find out the S22. So means, so this one is an S22. So S22 equal to, so bracket integration of 0 to t. So S2 of t minus S21 pi 1 of t square raised to 1 by 2. After that, once you know the S22, so what next term is, so we have to consider the equation number 5. So here S22, S2 of t equal to S21 of pi 1 of t minus, plus S22 pi 2 of t. So here what happens? So we have to substitute the pi 1 of t value. So means, so first we have to substitute the pi 2 of, substitute equation. What's going on?